All right, this is going to be a look at some Mark Andrews film from the Ravens' 16-13 loss to the Steelers in Week 17. Really, Mark Andrews' most impactful game in probably over 2 months. 9 catches on 9 targets for 100 yards, no touchdowns. Now, you could also say that he was underutilized, as crazy as that sounds, when he has 9 catches. I think the Steelers were kind of inviting us to throw the ball, obviously, in their 6-2 look against 22 personnel, and they even use it against 21 sometimes as well. But I think they were inviting us to throw the ball by the fact that they were putting Terrell Edmunds on Mark Andrews. Now, I'm not saying that they were expecting Edmunds to lose every single matchup, but he certainly did lose most of them. And so did some other guys who were assigned to guard Andrews. Let's get into the film a little bit, and you guys can check it out for yourselves. Kind of disappointing, if you ask me, that Andrews wasn't targeted more. Knowing the coverages that the Steelers were playing when they had this 6-2 personnel on the field, what they were doing is they were lining up number 98, I think is Leo, to Ricard. So we kind of knew where that extra interior lineman was going to be. This is a 2nd and 7. Andrews catches for a first down, just as a little turn route. There's plenty of opportunities to throw the ball in this game, whether we're in 22 personnel or 12 personnel like this one. We get base from the Steelers in this instance. I guess really it's nickel. And Andrews is winning on a 3rd and 6, 12 personnel, like I said. So the Steelers weren't playing that 6-2 look against every single personnel iteration. Certainly not playing it on 3rd and 6. In any case, this is Andrews versus Edmunds. You can see there's a slight push-off here, kind of obvious. A little more obvious than the push-offs that George Pickens does, if you ask me. But it's not going to be called all the time on these guys who have long arms and are able to make it look like they're just turning into their route. Kind of a typical Mark Andrews route for 2022, an out route against man coverage. He's been winning these when we've targeted him often. Feel like he probably could have got 13 or 14 targets in this game. All right, again, against Edmunds. Now, this is the 22 personnel by the Ravens, so you're getting the 6-2 look. Again, 98 is lined up to Ricard, and he is assigned to play him man-to-man. So essentially, it's a bear technique. Ravens, we're doing this a lot to T.J. Watt. So we're motioning Ricard toward him and then using Ricard to try to block him. I'm not sure how successful it actually was, but in this case, Huntley's able to find Andrews as Edmunds gets off. You get somewhat of a vertical release by Andrews, so Edmunds gets off pretty heavy here. Andrews is wide open if we're throwing the football, if we're reading him at all already, and you've got decent pass protection. But Huntley appears to be looking to the other side of the field first at either Jackson or possibly the seam vertical to Josh Oliver. I felt like we had plenty of missed opportunities to get the football to other guys, including Mark Andrews, to be honest with you. And Huntley's just not seeing things happen as fast as you would like. But in this case, he's able to, keep the play going despite the hit by Watt that's slightly late. You get that one step in the NFL to hit the quarterback after the release. Huntley is clearly trying to throw the football here. Watt is he a step away? Is he 1.5 steps away? I'm not sure, but he's consistently playing with that level of tenacity. And if you like football, if you like defensive football, you love it. If you don't like the Steelers and you don't like T.J. Watt, obviously it pisses you off. All right, so Andrews here in the slot. This time is a 3rd down against Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's 11 personnel, so clearly the Steelers are not in that 6-2 look. They're in their nickel. It's man-free. Andrews is going to beat Fitzpatrick pretty easily on this little in-breaking route. There's no low-hole defender. There's no defender in the middle of the field in this iteration of man-free because they're bringing 4, and then the 5th guy who could be playing underneath is going to be assigned to the back right here. Spillane is running a stunt to be the 5th rusher. Very similar to a stunt he runs on a screen to Likely earlier in the game where he's going to step to his left towards Linderbaum and then loop around late. And this is all, if you ask me, designed because of T.J. Watt's ability to win off the edge. And he wins here clearly and then just falls down. You get the end zone angle, you'll get a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about with Spillane. So because they trust Watt to win on these speed rushes so much, what they're doing is they're looping Spillane around late because they expect Huntley to be flushed out this direction. So they're expecting Watt to win on that speed rush, which, he can win. He can go as far upfield as he wants, and he can force the quarterback to, to move to his left or, possibly have to step up and move to his right, which we know Huntley does like to do. Andrews located over here one-on-one with Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to win. I'm explaining to you what Spillane is doing because later on in that screen that he tackles likely for a 6-yard loss, it looks like Spillane reads it. The Ravens have never run that play before. I really don't think Spillane read the play. Collinsworth talked about it being, product of film study, and I certainly think Spillane played great. But on that screen, I think he's just running the same stunt he's running now, maybe, which is, stepping here to occupy the center and then looping around. And again, I think it's built off of the fact that TJ Watt's going to execute a speed rush because you've got a B-gap rusher inside of him, so Watt's not going to go inside, meaning Watt's not going to occupy the B-gap when there's a D-tackle there. All designed for Watt to rush off the edge. In this case, doesn't get there in time, and Huntley's able to get the ball to Andrews. That's just one of the chess games you play with your inside linebackers when you're trying to get pressure. Sometimes you vacate the middle of the field, and in this case, Andrews takes advantage of it. All right, this time Andrews takes advantage of Devin Bush, who wasn't on the field a whole lot. They're trying to bracket Andrews here with a safety over the top as well. This is kind of how the Ravens attack cover 3. Now, this is not cover 3. You can attack man free this way, whatever coverage it is, something to vacate this space on one side of the field and just bring a receiver on top of it. In this case, it's Oliver chipping and then running the under and bringing this corner with him. So it's going to open up that side of the field. Bush is supposed to play with leverage to this side of Andrews. And then there's going to be a bracket on the other side. This is kind of rare, to be honest with you. This coverage is not seen as much on versus Andrews as people suspect. So Bush is supposed to stay to Andrews' left, and this defender here is supposed to stay to Andrews' right. I mean, watch Bush lose the leverage so easily. When he has help over the top and he has help to the opposite side. Really poor job by Bush. I suspect that's one of the reasons why Spillane and Mark Robinson played more. I know Mark Robinson's more of a run fitter. Spillane is just more balanced than Bush. Got time in the pocket for Huntley. Andrews beats Bush quite easily. Complete mismatch. When you get the all-22, you'll see what I mean. Against cover 3, this is how the Ravens have attacked cover 3. And one of the things about Greg Roman is he can attack cover 3 and man-free in the pass game. What he really struggles to attack is too high safety looks. Generally, against cover 3, if you were going to run, let's say, a vertical, then this corner would get off. In this case, he's going to chip and then run under. This corner is going to go with him, and it vacates that whole side of the field. Why am I mentioning cover 3 consistently, and it's clearly not cover 3? Because Greg Roman's offense, or Greg Roman himself, has answers for certain coverages that work. This is one of them. Whether it's man-free, whether it's cover 3, no matter what do you want to call it. This is clearly man-free here with a bracket double on Andrews, and there's your free safety over the top. Greg Roman can attack certain coverages. There are certain coverages he cannot attack. Certainly, he didn't even try to attack the 6-2 enough, if you ask me. The 6-2 look by the Steelers, which you see here, against 22 personnel. Andrews down here to the bottom side of the screen. This pass pro did not work, meaning motioning Ricard away from Watt. Look at the width of Watt's alignment. Clearly, this is a loss by Morgan Moses. There's just too much width for Watt coming off the edge here. Moses' set is too slow. You can see how slow his right foot is. There's no kick at all. And then he's just opening up because he's trying to get so much depth. And Watt's just willing to run upfield, and he's got the explosiveness to get there. This is one of those situations on a 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8, where I'm like, I don't know about you, but, asking Moses to block that version of TJ Watt is different than the version of TJ Watt we saw in Pittsburgh in the first game. I think he's completely healthy, and he showed it. And I think as the game got going on, he caused more havoc and brought more pressure. I think the Ravens did a poor job. If you're going to use Ricard to pass pro on the edge against an edge defender or help out, in my opinion, he should be helping out against Watt. In this case, he's assigned to Highsmith by himself because we think he can win that matchup, and Moses loses this matchup quite easily. Andrews is open, but it's not going to be a huge gain, obviously, and there's no time to get him the football because Watt is there. Couple more plays before we get to the 2 catches on the last drive. I feel like they tried to use Andrews' gravity to get other guys open. I'm just not sure why this is a vertical seam by Josh Oliver and um, not it's basically smash a post corner. So you're getting this route here by Oliver. And I just feel like this route should be broke off here away from this safety. The Steelers were very obvious in what they were doing coverage wise. They were playing man on Andrews with 34. Right now, Spillane is near Oliver, but Spillane is zoning off. So is Mark Robinson. These two guys are zoning off. We're using Ricard and J.K. Dobbins to block Liao and T.J. Watt. And to me, this route should be brought here and should be thrown there. Now, Huntley is seeing the free safety now. He's looking, he's looking here. So maybe he sees Mark Robinson because he's worried about this route here first, I guess. I feel like the read should be here immediately. And it doesn't look like it is to me, but maybe you can watch his helmet if you wish. Looks like he glances left initially. Let's check it out. Play action. Yeah, I feel like he's looking left or middle first. So I think he's looking at this route first. And in my opinion, you should be building it off of Andrews. Edmonds has been playing Andrews man all game in this 6-2 alignment. And I feel like this route should be here. It's not. It goes toward the safety. Huntley, for whatever reason, starts to escape. Maybe he doesn't trust J.K. protecting the edge against Watt. It was the play where they talked about Watt's incredible effort, which it clearly was. I mean, he still hits Huntley, despite getting cut and going to the ground. This ball's got to be thrown more towards the sideline to get it away from Minkah Fitzpatrick. One of the things that I would offer is if you're going to try to throw, I don't know that Josh Oliver's the guy who's going to get people out of a coverage. I mean, I feel like it's Isaiah Likely. If we brought Isaiah Likely in, are we not going to get the 6-2 look? It's possible. That's the chess game that the Steelers forced us into by playing that 6-2 look. And in my opinion, the Ravens did not do a great job. They didn't even do a good job of adjusting against it. When you have a guy like Andrews who goes 9 for 9, you've got to, A, get him the ball more, or B, use him to get other people open. And I just don't feel like Josh Oliver is a guy who's really going to punish the defense enough to get him out of that look or generate big plays. All right, late in the game, this is the 2nd and 25 where the Steelers are very fortunate that Mark Andrews doesn't get the first down here. We did, of course, pick up the first down. Unusual coverage, end up looking like some people call it a 2-4-1. You've got flat defenders that are trying to keep the ball inside so that the ball can't get to the sideline and stop the clock. Then you got 4 underneath droppers and 1 deep defender. It's not unusual. It's just a unique coverage to play in terms of how you're playing it. You're playing it late in the game. It's basically, umbrella here to force the ball inside and leave the area open and entice you to throw it in there. Well, in this case, the Ravens almost pick up the first down, probably a little bit, too much space. Very next play, Andrews down to the bottom side of the screen. Doesn't look like Sammy Watkins is really sure what's going on up here. He's got a lot of space in the middle of the field again, and he's turning the opposite direction for whatever reason. But it's a very next play. It's 3rd and 2. Andrews gets the first down, falls down, gives himself up. When I first saw this, it looked like he was getting up to run. I don't think he is. I think he's getting up to have the ball spotted. And Minkah Fitzpatrick's just a brilliant and very intelligent player, is there to punch the ball out. Unfortunate the Ravens were unable to generate anything else beyond this. Throughout the course of the game, I feel like there was plenty of opportunities to throw the football, whether it's Tyler Huntley not getting the ball on the correct leverage side, or whether it's someone like Josh Oliver not running the correct route, or whether it's the design of the play that I pointed out, where I feel like Andrews is being used to hold Edmonds, and you can throw the ball over the top of him. Ravens did a very poor job adjusting to what the Steelers did. Even though Andrews, I think, was singularly brilliant, J.K. Dobbins played well. Also, I thought the Ravens had trouble at the first level on the offensive line. I didn't think they did a good job communicating things at all, and against that 6-2 look against the run, certain kick-out plays, even the 3rd and 2 play On our last possession, where J.K. gets stopped, I did not think that the Ravens O-line did a great job at all communicating that and attempting to block that 6-2 look, which is crazy because you've seen it for 60 minutes at that point. Really disappointing game overall as a Ravens fan. Really disappointing game for our offense. Just another one they've been stacked on top of each other now for about 6 weeks. And Mark Andrews at least was the guy who came to play. Hopefully we get another great effort from him this week against Cincinnati and in the playoffs because he gives us a chance, especially when teams are going to put guys like Terrell Edmonds on him, someone that Mark Andrews is able to win those matchups consistently. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.